Hey guys, good afternoon. Digital anchor Brandi Smith here. I know a lot of you are getting ready to maybe head to the rodeo this weekend, or next week is spring break. That is when a lot of families budget out some time to go. So I have been down at the rodeo basically for 2 weeks straight. I think I counted earlier today 14 stories that I've done related to the rodeo. So I'm here to answer any questions I can, but also to cover some of the stories you may have missed that I've done over the past couple of weeks there. It does cost admission to get on the grounds at Rodeo Houston, but once you're in there as a family, there is a lot of free stuff you can do. Lots to engage the kids, to learn about the legacy of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, about Texas's history, about our connection to agriculture. And so I'm gonna start by showing you what is my favorite place at Rodeo Houston, the birthing center.
We have 8 Jersey dairy cows, 12 sheep, 5 sows.
All of them mamas to be.
Their due dates are coming up this week.
Just like the name of the exhibit says, this is where those births will happen.
A lot of the deliveries, the births, we want Mother Nature to do as much as she can, if not all. But we're there to assist if things happen, because things happen sometimes.
Those babies will join these guys, a couple litters of piglets and a pair of 3-year-old lamb twins.
By the end of the show, when everything has babies, we'll have around 85 to 110 beating hearts to keep track of in the exhibit.
Those hearts draw visitors in.
The mamas and the babies. People love that.
So they can learn more about the livestock part of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo.
We're here to help bridge the gap between the producer and the consumer, and to show people livestock stewardship.
And you just get to look at all the babies. I was just there yesterday? The day before yesterday, and there are already so many more lambs, piglets, and a lot of the calves. If you saw a video of those mama cows in there, they just looked like they were about to pop, like they wanted it to be over soon. For a lot of them, it is. But the birthing center is part of Agventure, which is open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Again, free. And here's a little more about that.
Animals, and just realize how much agriculture plays a part in your everyday life. It's one of our educational agriculture exhibits here at the rodeo.
An exhibit loaded with exhibits.
We've got lots of great activities for families to come and enjoy, see the agriculture, see all the animals, and just realize how much agriculture plays a part in your everyday life.
Agventure stretches across a good chunk of NRG Center and lets you take a tour of Texas,
where you can learn all about different crops that are grown in Texas.
Watch eggs hatch.
Very popular one.
Visit livestock in the petting zoo or barns.
For a lot of kids, they are seeing a cow for the very first time, up close and personal.
And so much more.
Then we have Agventure Park, which has the parakeet exhibit, and the honeybee exhibit, and a soil exhibit where you can plant a sunflower seed, take it home and cultivate it and watch it grow.
Of course, who could forget the birthing center?
She's just ready to have a baby, I think.
It's the rare exhibit that grows by the dozens throughout rodeo.
It's wonderful. Everybody loves to see the little baby animals when they're born, but just the miracle of life.
The only part of Agventure that costs money is the pony rides.
But everything else is free, so we hope that everybody will come and enjoy us.
So I know some of y'all have pictures. Maybe you've already made it out to rodeo this year, or maybe you've gone in years past. I want to see them. Share them in the comments. Any of photos of those little babies. The eggs hatching is always fun to watch too. I'm trying to think what else in there and the Agventure. I haven't gone through the parakeet exhibit, but every time I've walked by since it opened, it has been packed with people, and it just looks like a really cool experience. She mentioned that you can get a sunflower seed to take home. There's the rabbit hole, so you can see all different breeds of rabbits. The agriculture of Texas, the different displays of the regions and what comes from those regions. There's the cow milking, On Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, they do a rodeo read-along at the cow milking station as well. Trying to think of anything else. I think that covers Agventure. But if you pop outside of NRG Center, there's another, again, free opportunity for kids to learn about agriculture in Texas.
It's a lot of fun.
This is Fun on the Farm. It's an exhibit that's all about showing kids how products make it from the farm to the store.
They get to do all sorts of different farm chores.
Those chores start with getting seeds, which come in the form of these coins. They get to plant those in the corresponding garden, tomato, carrot, pepper, or onion, and add that veggie to their basket. Kids can learn how to milk a cow in the dairy barn before they head over to the sheep barn to learn about wool. They'll pretend to shear this guy, while the real thing hangs out a few feet away. And they can feel wool when it's raw, all the way through the process of becoming yarn. Over at the hen house, the real deal supervises while visitors feed these chickens, getting an egg in return. The farmer's job done, he or she gets to head to the farmer's market, maybe making a pit stop to play in the corn or say hi to the residents of Goat Mountain on the way.
At the end, they can sell all of their goods to the farmer's market.
The going rate for all those goodies is $1 howdy buck, which kids can spend at the grocery store. So they walk away with a treat and, volunteers hope, an understanding of how important agriculture is in our everyday life.
And if it's not fun, you're not going to want to do it. So we try to make it fun and enjoyable for them.
I do like the residents of Goat Mountain. They were kind of quiet when I was there, but every time I've walked by since, of course I don't have a camera out, they are out and about saying hi to folks. So those are some of the free things that you can do. One of the most popular and iconic rodeo events is mutton busting, right? There is a mutton busting tent. You have to walk almost to the end of the carnival from NRG Center, actually much closer to NRG Arena. But for $15 a ride, your kid can try their hand at mutton busting.
We put a child that's 55 pounds and under between the ages of 5 and 6 on this wild animal and let them run down the dirt path and let them hang on for dear life.
Well, when you put it like that,
it's one of those events that everyone knows.
There's definitely nothing like it.
Let's give him some love, Houston!
This is 6-year-old David.
All the way, buddy, keep going!
Who managed to hang on till the end.
My legs and my arms.
You just held on as tight as you could?
Yes.
But little sis Courtney wasn't about to let him have all the fun.
All right, here she goes, let's cheer on!
After the dust settled on their first ride, Courtney came out on top.
I think your sister got you beat, so she's gonna get a 98.
Are you guys a little bit competitive with each other?
Yes.
That became clear when David saddled up for a second ride.
It was fun.
In the end, brother and sister tied, both claiming silver buckles.
It's a memory that will last a lifetime for them.
Mutton Busting Committee member Eric Berger has some tips for any other competitive kids out there.
Best thing is stay right in the center of that sheep and just kind of grab on that wool and don't let go, and just have fun.
That may be easier for the audience than the rider, though.
Best part of the rodeo.
What a handy dismount! I mean, seriously.
It was amazing to see some of those kids. I mean, you saw roll, hit the wall, and then just bounce right back up with smiles. You see it every night in prime time during rodeo, but to see it in person in this little tent was, it's an experience. I will say it's also a great place to get out of the rain or the sun, depending on what Mother Nature is feeling that day. Also next door is pig races, and we've done a story on that in the past. So it's a good place to just maybe chill out for a little bit and then keep going, kind of catch your breath, I guess. I have a few more options to show you guys. And I think I'm gonna go with the ranch. So new this year, the ranch is something that's been in the works for a couple years. Obviously COVID and the lack of a rodeo last year really muted the opportunities, but Benjamin Berg said they kind of tested with food trucks last year around some of the livestock auctions, and the results is this place, a upscale full service restaurant at the rodeo.
You know, something we kind of started talking about before the pandemic and coming up with ideas. How could we get out here? How could we do full service dining at the rodeo?
This was restaurateur Benjamin Berg's answer. A 16,000 square foot venue loaded with 3 bars and several different dining areas.
Where we're sitting now is our fine dining real steakhouse room.
With its wood floors and gorgeous chandeliers, when you're standing in here, you almost have to remind yourself, this is a tent.
Yeah, that was the goal, to not be in a tent. A lot of the photos are actually from the ranch where a lot of our American Wagyu comes from. We wanted to bring that Western heritage, that whole idea of the rodeo into here, but do it in a sophisticated, sexy way, have some fun with it.
Berg had some fun with the menu, too.
We really offer something for everyone.
From burgers and sandwiches to full caviar service and Wagyu and Japanese Kobe steaks. And that doesn't even cover the drink menu.
Full bars, but we have eight cocktails on draft. Really, I mean, I think I have a fuller selection of liquors out here than I do in my restaurants, or some of them at least.
It took Berg's team 4 weeks to build the ranch and its full-service kitchen from the ground up.
It's a real big challenge.
A lot of work that Berg says was worth it.
To see it come to life and to open the doors, that's when it gets fun.
I will say, just like if you're going to B&B Butchers, say, at one of Berg's other restaurants, make sure you've budgeted for it. We went, I guess a week ago on Friday. Amazing experience. The food is incredible, but it is a little on the spendy end if you really want to go for it. Something else that is new this year at Rodeo, just in time for Women's History Month, is women's breakaway roping.
Taylor Hanchy of Carmine, Texas.
This
went to college at Texas A&M University.
Is not Taylor Hanchy's first rodeo.
She got out right. Good job, Taylor.
It is.
And she'll tie.
Her first RodeoHouston appearance as a breakaway roper, though.
If you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it, and I like that it's just bam, 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 and we're done.
Done, in Taylor's case, in 2.9 seconds.
Great job. You see how she pulled that slack right back to her knee, then released the rope and allowed it to break away? Perfect form.
The training is just as much mental as it is physical, just because it does happen so fast that you almost have to let instinct take over.
Watch as the all-around cowgirl. Taylor puts it on with her world champion husband watching.
That would be tie-down roper Shane Hanchy.
Very much a little bit of rivalry and competition, but it's fun. It makes both of us better.
Clearly. Wednesday night, Taylor advanced to the semifinals, which means she gets to introduce more people to breakaway roping.
I think RodeoHouston brings a lot of non-rodeo fans, so we're getting to be in front of people that haven't seen rodeo much, but probably have never seen breakaway roping.
Reporting at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, it was me. Surprise, surprise, surprise there. As I've been out there these past couple of weeks, I've been able to profile a lot of the work being done by the Special Children's Committee. So this is an organization that really focuses on making sure kids of all abilities are able to enjoy and participate in the rodeo. And that could mean the carnival on Sensory Friendly Day, which was on March 4th. For a couple of hours, they had the carnival turn off the flashing lights, turn down the music, so that kids who have sensory sensitivities could go and enjoy, and talking to the families who are there. It's one of those opportunities that they don't get too often. I talked to a mother who drove over from Beaumont just so her almost 4-year-old could participate, because otherwise their family wouldn't be able to go to rodeo. It can just be too much. Something else the Special Children's Committee does is the Top Hands Horse Show before rodeo really gets going. That's for riders of all abilities. Some have physical challenges, some have mental challenges, but everyone I talked to there talked about the relationship between these kids and horses, and how this giant animal is just so intuitive and so responsive. And these kids, who a lot of times are told what to do their whole lives, you know, they're just following orders, they get to be in control for a time when they're on that horse, and they compete in different events. European, Western, there's another one, and then trail, where they have to do a bunch of different challenges within that one event. A really, really unique thing to see. It is open to the public if you ever wanted to come by. Again, that's usually, I think, the weekend before cook-off, so a couple weeks before rodeo. And then Tuesday night, I got to go to Little Rustlers Rodeo, and I think this story will explain it. Livestock Show and Rodeo, Brandi Smith. That ain't it. Here we go.
This is our event for our youngest cowboys and cowgirls.
The Little Rustlers Rodeo.
They come ages 5 to 12, and we put on a mock rodeo.
For kids like Gabriel, who is
10.
it's something to look forward to.
This morning, I was so excited to do this.
Gabriel has lots of different kinds of medical issues, but he's just a wonderful little boy.
Dad Ken and the whole Camerino family came out to support their little rustler Tuesday night.
Well, it's a one in a million thing. We never get a chance to do anything like this. We're pretty much at home a lot, so getting the opportunity to get out and do something, it's very special.
Special, because on this night, families get to stay on the sidelines.
The parents are in the stands right here, and sometimes they've really never been able to step back and allow their child to participate. I think that's pretty amazing.
They can do that because the Rodeo's Special Children's Committee found every little rustler a grown-up cowboy or cowgirl to help them ride a bull, barrel race, hop on a horse, play horseshoes, and so much more.
They get a trophy, they get a belt buckle, they get a picture.
A picture to remember this night, when these kids got to be just like the cowboys and cowgirls they see on TV.
This is just it's a dream come true for all of us.
That was just a really special story to put together. Mona says, wow, he is so adorable. Gabriel was so sweet. One of the other things he said he was excited about was the interview, and he did a great job. I also want to thank Dad Ken for taking the time, because they got there a little early so that we could do that interview. But I didn't know really what to expect when I got down there. And just to see, you know, the bulls that were kind of teeter-totters and were manned by the volunteers, the barrel racing with stick horses, kids getting to see themselves on the big screen as they were on the back of a horse. It's just, it is really incredible. And something I didn't mention in that story, but you can read about online, is about all of this equipment. It's brand new this year. Little Rustlers has been going for almost 30 years, and they had been using the same equipment during that time, but a bunch of donations made in honor, I believe his name was Basil McDonald, a longtime committee member. Those donations allowed the committee to buy all that new equipment. And so it was really neat. They were very proud of it, showing it off, because it was all so new and neat. I want to direct you guys to khou.com if you have questions about anything rodeo related, or you wanted to learn more about the stories that we've talked about on here. If you go to khou.com/rodeo, man, we have it all. So I've done a lot of stories. Other reporters have been out there. It's just a lot of content, so you can do a deep dive. We also have kind of a guide for folks who are new, if you haven't been, or like me, I hadn't been since, well, I'd been to Cook-Off in 2020, but in 2019 was really the last time I went to rodeo. So just exploring and getting reacquainted with the grounds when the rodeo takes over NRG Park. It was pretty neat. I'm gonna hang on here for a couple more minutes to see if anybody has any questions that I can potentially answer. All I'm seeing right now is Mona's comment about Gabriel, which is very sweet. But let me know. Are you going to any of the shows? I've been lucky. I went to Maren Morris on Tuesday. She was phenomenal. I'm gonna try to go to Bunby tonight, and then Gwen Stefani on Tuesday, which I think is the most concerts I've ever gone to for rodeo. But I know some people who are there every single night. One of my girlfriends, her husband is a volunteer for one of the committees, and she joked that she kind of turns into a single mom for 3 weeks because it is just rodeo all the time. Even working with the PR folks out there, it's basically a 24/7 job for 3 weeks. And then we get to wait until next year. But I know so many people are excited to be back, including vendors. I'm working on a story for KHU, or for the 411, about one vendor who, 2 years ago today is when it shut down. Vianney asks, how much is the entrance? So it is $15 for adults, anyone 13 and older. Kids 3 to 12, it's $5, and if kids are 2 or younger, they get in free. But a note, on Wednesdays, it is free for seniors who are 60 and older and children 12 and younger until noon. So if you're looking to save a little bit of cash, that's the way to get in. And then you can check out all those free exhibits. Agventure, the Birthing Center, Fun on the Farm. You can check out the different vendors who really need your support, because again, a lot of them count on that income from rodeo. It's a huge sales opportunity, and so to be shut down in 2020, to not have rodeo in 2021, they're really looking to rebound in 2022. I know I have done my part in making sure the vendors walk away with some profit. Let's see if there are any other questions. Oh, Sheila's taking the kids to Marshmallow, their first concert ever. I feel like Rodeo Houston is a great introductory concert because you're all in seats. You can get up and move around a little bit more. I don't know, it's just not as in your face. You don't feel as crowded. I want to say, was that? I think that may have been, I took my girls to the band Perry. Must have been 2016. I think that was their first concert. It's so funny, I never really considered that though. We went up to Cynthia Woods Mitchell for like a 90s band reunion concert. And I always thought about that being their first concert, but no, I think it was the band Perry. We have a lot of rodeo first-timers in Houston this go-round too. You think about it, hasn't been here for a couple years, and how many folks move here every single day. So if you are one of those folks and you're like hesitating to ask a question, I'll reiterate, there are no stupid questions. So if you want to ask one, go for it. But we do have a ton of information and a guide that will step you through everything you need to know. What the best way to get down there is, if you want to park, or if you want to take Metro, or if you want to Uber or Lyft. There are lots of options. Family day, admission, carnival tickets. Yep, Jonathan just mentioned, answering the question for Yanni, $15 admission to the grounds. Here's one thing though, if you are planning on going multiple times, you can get a grounds season pass for $35. And when you think about it, like, if you go more than twice, it's probably worth getting that, and you can buy those at the gates. I think you can buy tickets, like admission tickets, online. Yeah, you sure can. And we have a link for that on khou.com as well. Jonathan says, I need info for parking going right now. Well, one, you're already off to a good start if you are leaving now. It's the people who try to go right after work who run into huge traffic headaches. There is a ton of private parking in and around NRG. Depending on what you're going for, might change which lot you want to target. I think the main one is the yellow lot. Hold on, I'm gonna get you answers. Well, that's not helpful. Parking and transportation. Okay, here we go. Okay, the yellow lot is 20 bucks across 610. So that is gonna get you closer into the carnival. That is also well, they're all $20. And then Old Spanish Trail 1 is 20 bucks. Now there are closer spots that'll cost you a little bit more. You can, there's pedicabs all around there. One thing to be cognizant of if you are planning to ride share down there is the line and the surge pricing afterward. I know in planning our trips, I think we're going to ride share down there and then take Metro back into, I mean, you can take the train really anywhere, but into downtown and then possibly ride share home from there. A much cheaper trip and a much shorter trip. All right, it looks like that does it for questions. I'm gonna bring up the website again. This is khou.com/rodeo. You can, what time the high school marching band's going to perform? I don't actually know that answer. That might be available on RodeoHouston.com. I haven't heard anything about a high school marching band competition or performance, so I apologize for that. But on khou.com, you can find all of our coverage to date. Jonathan, you're welcome. Look at that. I love you guys are helping each other out. This just makes my day. We are always providing content on our Roku and Fire TV apps. You can watch all the videos I showed you and many more, because I've done many more on our YouTube channel. And then of course we're here on Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Y'all have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there and have fun at rodeo.